Hey everybody, this is Palm Springs Cindy, and it is so good to be with you guys today. I've been busy once again, having some fun. The other night I went out to a casino and we went to a room called Lit, L-I-T. And we celebrated a birthday, girlfriend's birthday in the lit room. And we got there actually way before the band started playing, and we were like the only people there, our group. There were about 8 of us. However, it was nice because we had basically the whole room to ourselves for like a good hour and a half. And she was able to open a few gifts, and we were able to we ordered pizza. We got permission to not order from the little hors d'oeuvres from the bar area, but we were evidently they called ahead and said, can we order pizza? There's going to be several gals. We want, sort of like a dinner, casual dinner. So we did that. It was wonderful. Then the band came out and they were great. And so several of us got up and danced like crazy. So that was really fun. It's always fun to, to be with your friends and laugh and enjoy the loud music and to dance and be silly and whatever. So anyway, that was one it was an early evening. We got there at 6:30. And we were home like, I'm going to say, maybe 10 o'clock. Maybe 10. So, and then tonight, one of my friends had a dinner party, and she had a lot of leftover food, evidently. So she invited a few of us to come over. And she heated up dinner. And anyway, it was just delicious. It was chicken and mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. And then she made this delicious chocolate cheesecake. Oh my goodness gracious. It was very rich, and she's an excellent cook and a great hostess. So that was fun. I just got home from that a little while ago, and I thought, the other night when I got home from the casino, I was pooped. And then the whole next day I was like, pooped. So I just, kind of like basically laid around. And then, so today I was, more up and at 'em and was able to get a few things done. I probably shouldn't point it out, but I've got a real blemish right here. I have not had something like that happen to me in years and years and years, but I could feel it. But I thought, is this like a cold sore? So it's not. It's definitely like a blemish. So I have some makeup on that. But if you're noticing something there, that's what it is. And I kind of want to start, you guys, by talking about these clothing hauls. Now, I do enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching the YouTube videos on the hauls. However, have some comments. And I'm curious to know if, how you guys feel about it as well. So, it's not one or two. There's several gals that do these, Walmart hauls for clothing. Or I'm going to just, let's say Old Navy hauls, whatever. And so they, okay, I have a couple questions about their hauling. So I noticed in the videos that they have like a rack of clothes, and they have all these clothes. Oh my gosh, at least 25, 30 garments, at least, on this rack. And then, then the video continues, and they take something off the rack, and then they video themselves in that. And then the next scene is they've taken that outfit off and put on another one from the rack. Okay, so part of my question is, the clothes on these racks are from their haul. So let's say it's a Walmart haul, and they have 20 outfits on the rack. Maybe they're not all from Walmart, but it kind of gives you the impression that they are. So does that mean they actually bought, well, obviously, that they bought all those items, and then, like, do they keep them all, or do they take them back? I don't get it. I don't get it, but I don't have to get it. So, all right, that's one of my haul questions. And then the other haul question or comment I have, of course they have, because they're, featuring a video, they have some of the cutest things, really cute clothing items. They put this together with that and that together with this, and the color matches this and the color matches that, and then they add their own personal accessories. So for example, maybe they have a cute little denim outfit on, and then they'll put on their own brown boots and their brown crossover bag and whatever. Well, here's my concern. I am 74 and I am overweight, and those outfits don't work for me. Now, they're adorable on, the gals that buy them, that have these perfect little figures, and you go, girl. But for people my size, it does not work. However, I have a little bit of a response for that, or to that. If you are more of a plus size woman, like I am at the moment, I've discovered two people. One's a newbie, and one's someone I met on Instagram, probably a year or so ago, and they're both adorable, and they're both plus size, and they show it all. They start in their bra and panties, and then they put like their shapewear on, and they just say, "This is the way I look." In fact, I wrote down one of the gals, and her name is Veronica Friend. I think it's Freund. And her handle is Veronica Friend 87. And I'll put this in my details below, her name. I want you guys to look her up on Instagram. You will love her. She's young. She's a lot younger than I am, but she definitely had it. She says that she grew up, and she said, "I'm a big woman. I have fat on my body. I am overweight." And she carries a lot of it in her belly and bum, like I do. She's kind of on the shorter side. Well, I'm not short, 5'5". And she says she never could find anybody that looked like her. She's got black curly hair. And so she said, I just decided that I would put myself out there and show how I'm built and how I'm putting my fashion together. And she does a great job. And so I want you to look up Veronica Friend, Freund 87. You're going to love you're going to love a lot of what she puts together. Now, some of her, like I saw her on Instagram. So when she pops up, maybe she'll do 6 outfits, 7 outfits, and and then she adds her own shoes, and she adds her own handbag, and she adds her own scarf, they're all her own clothes. But her accessories that she adds really make the outfit. And her outfits, like maybe you'll scroll through and she'll do a show. She'll show 6 or 8 outfits. Maybe you love every one of them. Then maybe other little clips pop up of other things. Then she comes up. Maybe she pops back up again. Maybe you're not crazy about some of the items that she has on that in that particular upload of hers. But if you watch her enough, you're going to see a lot of really cute things that really look good on women that are overweight. And then she does invite you to shop at her Amazon storefront. I think that's what it's called. I have been looking at it, and to be honest, I think the things that I'm having trouble finding what I like when I see her on Instagram. I'm having trouble finding those exact things on Amazon. However, I was at least led into this section of some cute things for overweight people that make you look slimmer and that are still cute clothing items. Excuse me. Okay, another gal that I want you to look up. She's young, she's beautiful. Her name is Taryntruly. Put her name in my details. But I want you to see how she puts clothing together. Once again, she's very, she starts out with her bra and her panties, and she pulls up her stockings, and she's definitely overweight, but really cute. And she's got this beautiful black hair, and she'll put on hats, and she puts on all kinds of fun accessories. And she says she has to put her frosting on, and that's always her jewelry. Well, anyway, she's just adorable. So when I think of clothing hauls, like let's, for example, say Walmart, so much of what the gals wear are not going to fit me. However, here, the two gals that are plus size and put together some really cute things, Veronica and Taryn. So be sure to check the details out. I think if you find them on Instagram, you're going to love them. To this show the other day, and I'm raving about the movie I saw, and I want to share it with you guys. And it's called A Complete Unknown, and it's the story of Bob Dylan. Now, what makes this good is it picks up only like a 5 or 6 year period in his life, 1961 to about 1965, maybe a little bit later. The story focuses on the fact that he is a folk singer, and he leaves Minnesota, and he arrives in New York. That's the beginning of the movie. No spoiler alerts here. And so, he just arrives in New York City with his guitar slung over his shoulder and a backpack and his hat, and he's kind of a grunge. And so that's where the story begins. And the story focuses on how Bob Dylan develops as an artist within those 6 or 7 years, how folk singers, and if you're my age, and many of you are, folk singers were really in the late 50s. Well, in the late 50s, I'm thinking the Kingston Trio. I'm thinking Peter, Paul, and Mary. There's what was his name? Pete Seeger, I think that was his name, and Joan Baez. So, the Peter, Paul, and Mary. And so, he gets, that's sort of his beginning era and style of music. Plus, he is a prolific songwriter. And then it goes into, it talks about some of the loves of his life. The focus is still on him. And then it goes through how he changes from more of a folk singer to more of because then like the Beatles come in and music changes. It leaves that whole folk song era. Although folk songs are alive and well, as continue to be alive and well, just not as popular as more Elvis and the Beatles and the Beach Boys and things like that. So it shows how he transitions and how his music and how his voice changes. Well, you already know that he talked like this, and I found my shoes, and went up there, and going there. He's got that mumble thing going on. And he mumbles, be ready, because there is mumbling, that's how he speaks. but you can still hear, it's still a delightful movie. It will bring back a lot of memories about music and the times. They really nail the fashions during that time, the environment, the buildings, the technology of the time. And I enjoy looking at all of that, what the microphones look like, what the guitars were like, what the what styles were the people wearing, the guys, the gals, what were the cars like that were driving down the street? What was the deli like that he went in? It was all in the 60s. So I loved that. Not to mention that the music is all Bob Dylan, and just, from one scene to another scene, another great song of his, every song you're gonna recognize and just go, oh, I love that song. So especially if you're a baby boomer, you're going to love even if you were not a Bob Dylan fan, you're still going to love the movie because of the era, because of this music. Who doesn't love Blowing in the Wind or Mr. Tambourine Man? And so anyway, yeah, you're going to love the music. And the young boy that plays Bob Dylan does all his own singing. And I had to Google everybody in the movie to find out, were they singing and how did they sing? How does he sing just like Bob Dylan? So he does sing. His name is, I wrote it down here, Timothy Chalamet, young guy. And he really does a great job. I mean, this is Academy Award type. I don't even know if it's been nominated, but I hope it has. And then Joan Baez has a huge part, but, it's not a gal by the name of Monica Barbaro plays Joan Baez, does a great job. She does her own singing, but she sounds a lot like, they're not, the Timothy Chalamet guy sounds almost like Bob Dylan, but the Joan Baez gal does not sound just like Joan Baez, but pretty close. And then Ed Norton plays Pete Seeger. There's really only 4 main characters in the movie, and basically 3. The guy that plays Bob Dylan, the gal that plays Joan Baez, and Ed Norton that plays Pete Seeger. And then there's a gal and of course I had to Google her that played his girlfriend, more of his real sweetheart love interest. And she's played by Elle Fanning. And she plays, I had to look her up to see what the gal's name, and she plays the life of a woman named Susie Rotolo, who really she was like on the cover of one of Bob Dylan's first albums, and definitely a love interest. So if you get a chance, I think you'll really enjoy it, mostly because it's, like I said, it's a reflection of our time as baby boomers and a real creative artist, and taking a look at how he grows and how he writes his music and things like that. It's very good. Okay, another, I'm embarrassed to share this, but I'm going to share it. I am obsessed with a couple other video genres that I have been enjoying on YouTube. Okay, another one of them, besides the hauls and the beauty community, are the I'm going to say police interrogation videos, where they get these people that, it's all real. And let's say somebody commits a murder. And so the police department, the detectives narrow it down. It's this one person or it's that person. And they pretty much know. Well, they know who did it. So they bring them in for interrogation. And it's this whole dance that goes on between well, I don't. I could be an interrogator now because I've watched so many of them. I know exactly how it works. The perpetrator sits with their back to the wall, little tiny table, very Spartan room, and then there are two interrogators, and one sits back and just like stares at the person, and then the other one sits close, gets into the guy's personal space or the gal's. And then they start by befriending. Oh, can we get you some water? Are you hungry? Do you want something? You want us to run over to McDonald's and bring some food back? And, the perps are like, yeah, or no, or whatever. So they start by being nice because they want to pretend like they're on their side, they're friends, they're there for them. And then they start by asking really silly, easy questions. Now, what's your middle name? Or now, where'd you grow up? And what high school did you go to? So, they get the person talking. And then they like just thread them through this whole cycle of being nice. And then they start putting the pressure on. Then they get up and they leave for a while. And then they leave. They let the person sit there for like an hour or 30 minutes. They come back in and then they sit back down and they basically wear the person down. And I don't know why they say, so often the perpetrators are like, now am I in trouble? Should I get my attorney? Should I ask for a lawyer? Because they read them their Miranda rights and all that stuff. And then the guys, they're like, well, you want to get an attorney? Well, and then like, well, I don't know, should I? They go, well, you've already been talking to us, if you want to keep talking, but yeah, you have a right to an attorney. If that's fine. You want an attorney? Because if you do, then we've got to leave. And well, anyway, the people, they don't get an attorney. I after what I've seen, I'd so get an attorney. No, they don't. They just keep talking until they finally spill their guts. And of course, the ones they put on YouTube, they are guilty. But it just, it's the same tactics that they use. Well, it just blows me away. And some of these crimes these people commit are so horrendous. I can't even fathom. It's a train wreck, and I don't know why I'm watching it, but I'm watching it. And let's see, what else am I watching? Oh, I just have one. You know how I said I was watching. I found those two plus size gals, so adorable, on Instagram. Well, and this happens on Facebook too. I'm so irritated. This particular one that I'm going to talk about, I was watching Instagram and it said, this is an all natural drink, 4 ingredients only. It takes the place of Mounjaro or Ozempic, one of those type deals. They said, this is all I stumped this darling young gal. I stumbled across this on my own and I just, I figured this out and I make this drink and I guarantee you'll lose 3 pounds. If you start drinking this tomorrow, by 2 days, you'll have lost 3 pounds. And if you don't, I'll buy you your first Ozempic pen. It's that kind of deal. So I'm all over it. So I'm listening to the advertisement and the gal just, she's so convincing and, unbelievable. This is a miracle. This is a once in a lifetime. And then there's a little sign that says, want to know more? So I click that. Well, anyway, what I'm getting at, so leads you on. I'm like, give me the 4 ingredients and enough already. Oh no, I never did get the 4 ingredients. And they had me like hook, line, and sinker. Well, then enough to that. So I went online and I put, what are the 4 ingredients for the natural approach to the Mounjaro, whatever it is. And well, even then, I never did get the 4 ingredients or the amount. So if any of you ever figured it out or found it online, please let me know because I would love to be able to make that all natural drink and drink it once a day or whenever however many times and lose weight. There you go. That's my rant. Oh, all right, you guys. I think those are pretty much all my ranting, all my chit-chatting, ranting for tonight. I don't know if you could see Poppy. She was kind of over there on the couch, but she had a rain today. It's cold outside, which is very unusual for Palm Springs, but we still were able to get outside. So she's had a nice walk outside, and I think she's pooped. So that's about it, you guys. P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation. Bye-bye.